Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hills to Ripples podcast. We got the crew of Harness Adrenaline here. We are going over one more pass, waterfowl adventures. I'm going to pass it on over to Nick and Ryan here. These two gentlemen are really great in the waterfowl industry.
Well, I don't know about great, but we definitely make fun of it. We make good use of the time out there. And yeah, we also have Lucas on here as well with us tonight, Ryan's son, and he's been able to get out and do a lot of waterfowl with us and his dad especially. So that's always good. But basically, we just wanted to kind of touch base on how waterfowl works here in Colorado. There's different starts to the season based off of where you are for the flyway zones, and just try to give you guys some tools going forward in case anyone wants to get out and do it. We really enjoy it. It's a great way to get out in what is essentially the off season of the big game, especially throughout the winter. And also just wanted to do a huge shout out to Lex with Wounded Waterfowl Project. He's absolutely awesome. Cookie and I and Luke and even Christy, Ryan's wife, got out with us with him, and just awesome. Him and Justin are really great guys, and they love taking out people, especially our veterans, to show some love. And they put us on some good birds this year. So yeah, waterfowl is a great way to get out in the off season, guys. Truly not very expensive. You need your individual state stamp as well as the federal, and those are definitely not a hefty price, are they, Cookie Monster?
Nope, looking probably about $35 total for the pair.
Yeah, that's not bad.
On top of your small game, which
right,
most people
exactly.
have that anyway.
Yep, exactly. Hopefully they do, at least. I mean, they should be taking part in as much as possible.
Right. And
we've had some great
shells can, go from 75 cents up to $4, where you want to spend there. There's no need to go for the expensive ones if you're just getting started, because you're going to waste some shells. So do not go get in the top of the line, get your feet wet before you jump in the deep end.
Yeah, no kidding. We found that out pretty quick, I think.
Yeah. You can drop a few $100s on a case of shells and realize that it's kind of like dove hunting, Sometimes them birds move a little faster than what you can pull that trigger.
Yeah, so that's for sure, especially them fast-flying ducks.
Yeah, and then divers that we hunt, that little F-16 just marsh missiles.
Yeah, the marsh missiles. Yeah, I love that term. Oh, man. Well, we've had some crazy adventures for sure. And I think we found two places really that we have had good success. Obviously we've been able to hunt some reservoirs and things like that around us, a couple of little ponds here and there, and definitely kind of figuring out what seems to work. We tried doing a lot of decoys when we were out a few ponds down south, and really didn't seem like it made a huge difference. And then we kind of just, what'd we end up going out with the last time? Like 8 or 10, I think maybe.
Yeah,
and that was really where we.
I think we shot more ducks over a half a dozen can decoys or floaters than anything else.
No kidding.
A simple set. We had, I think, a dozen divers, but that's, once again, that's not very expensive. You don't have to buy 30 dozen to start with.
Heck no, the first decoy I got was free. I found it on the shore.
There you go. See,
that was the craziest thing.
Some twine in a piece of metal. There's a weight. When I first started hunting in Colorado with the ducks, and I had decoys that were faded away from a swap meet, and some 1.5-inch sockets tied to some string below it, sitting in the river.
Yep.
It works.
I was gonna say, and then we've done some long lining, attaching a longer weighted line with some different decoy points, or even the jerk rig.
Yep.
Simple things like that have changed what we've done instead of just doing these massive piles of decoys.
Right, because we're not pulling in wads of hundreds at a time. Our bread and butter is 2 or 3 ducks coming in, or little singles coming out, or the small packs. That seems to be our good bread and butter there.
Yeah,
and of course,
absolutely.
Depending on which lake we're hunting, if it's real deep water, sometimes you don't need a whole lot out there. I mean, that's
Yeah.
and you can just do a little string of 4 and drop a brake rotor in the water for your weight and sit back and wait for it to fly.
Hey, that brake rotor was tops except for going to get it out with the kayak, and you feel like you're
Yeah,
about to tip over.
yeah, that was a little freaky.
Yeah, it was. We had to get used to that a little bit.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't 60 foot of water, I wouldn't be as nervous, but it's, that's
No
that's a
kidding.
long way down.
Yep. Especially with waders, they're gonna fill up quick.
Yeah, yep.
Well, and then obviously we've had some really good success out in the goose fields. You were blessed to be able to get us a field that essentially we can use whenever we want. And we tried doing that with bigger setups. You and I both bought a bunch of decoys of different snows and cans and stuff like that, but we really didn't. Really,
No,
again, weren't pulling in flocks. So
right. Yeah, yeah.
um,
We haven't had much success. Well, we've had birds fly over, but they just haven't dropped down. We definitely gotta figure that field out. I think
yeah,
it's
the goose is definitely a different game from ducks. Again, like you said, it's not these. I mean, especially with geese, they're flying in such large packs, large groups, and it's just if one of them sees something off, it seems like they kind of pull away.
right, right. So yeah,
So,
everything's got to be perfect on the hide and the winds. Where you're facing and
yep, exactly. But I know we've had some crazy, crazy times, and I know Lucas has had some great times as well. I'm sure he enjoys getting out with you as much as possible.
let's say what's your favorite hunt?
Probably that one goose hunt where we pulled like around 200 birds.
207.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the big goose hunt.
That was
That was
intense.
that was December. That was a good one.
That was a really good one. Well, we had nine guys in the pit, or
10
was it
10
11?
shooters.
10 shooters. Yeah,
10
okay.
shooters.
I know I could not reload fast enough.
No, that was fun watching you hold shells in your mouth and holding them in your hand in your pocket while trying to shoot and reload at the same time.
Yeah, that was a good multitasking day.
But I've never seen a couple hundred drop down. You shoot, drop some of those, and then the next 200 above them drop straight down. Also, I mean, they just
Oh,
the noise didn't
yeah.
bug them. I think there was so much squawking from the geese that they couldn't even hear the gunshots.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we didn't even really have to call that. Justin and them didn't really call that day. I mean, once we got them pulled, it was like that spin just kept coming down on top of us.
Yep. Yeah, we were blessed that day. That was a chosen field.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, I would agree, Lucas. I think that's one of my favorite days. Another great day. Your dad and I went out to one of the bigger reservoirs, and we were doing a little bit of cleanup crew and just watching these guys sky bust and maybe hitting a couple here and there, and then we just kind of follow them around and being able to pick them off as we go along.
Yep, mosey to the coves and
yeah, because once they're hit, I mean, they're just going to stay on the water, and then it was
right.
it was somewhat easy. I mean, granted, we chased that merganser quite a while trying to get that sucker.
Yeah, I remember the golden eye on the ice. That was
yeah, that's
kept
right.
going under the ice, and it's amazing how long they can stay underwater.
That is no joke.
It is amazing. The scuba tanks that they have internally are just incredible. And wounded too. I mean,
yeah, I know, that's the thing. They make you feel pretty dumb, don't they?
Yeah, I call it shotgun whack-a-mole, and it definitely is, because they come up, they see you, and they're under before you can pull the trigger, and it's a nanosecond. It's amazing. They just pop right under. And 2 minutes later, you see them out in the middle of the lake. It's like, how'd you get out there? What?
Yeah, I was watching the shot cam footage back a lot, and it was just like every time before the BBs even hit that water, that tail was already down underneath.
Yeah, it is crazy, their reflexes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Someone shooting at me, I'd probably move a little quick too.
I would hope so. But yeah, I mean, as far as getting started, truly, there's a lot of opportunity. The biggest tool I think that you really helped us with was scouting. I mean, you're out all the time, thankfully, and you're checking water and, again, you got access on that property out east. Obviously, it helps to be able to have amazing guides like Lex and Justin, like I was mentioning before. But you really, that's your bread and butter, man. And I know you did it back in Iowa quite a bit, but I also know that you did a lot of upland bird too back home.
Yeah, that was my main thing was pheasant hunting, and I mean we're chasing the whitetail, but I mean it was mostly as soon as that weekend of Halloween hit. It was from then to January 10th. It was on.
That's right.
Trying to find them roosters.
I know.
And one weekend in December, get a deer. But
yeah, and I keep trying to convince you to miss opening waterfowl day for big game, but I know that's hard to convince you every now and then.
Yeah, it's got to be the right tag, I guess, for that one.
Yeah, that's
I draw
the
a
thing.
tag, and I'll be out there.
Yeah, that's definitely different.
Of course, if the migration was like it was last year, I probably will be out there because there ain't gonna be any birds here at the end of October.
Well, and it's funny that we've said this before, but it was like 2 years ago we had a really great duck season. I mean, the best duck season we've ever had. I think it was like 15 or 16 days of 2-man limits, if not more.
From Thanksgiving morning till the end of season.
Yeah. I mean, that was just insane.
Yeah, that snow hit, and I mean, we were done at 8:30, 9 o'clock that morning.
Yeah, that Thanksgiving hunt was pretty crazy, except for the fact that I lost my phone in the water.
Yeah, that was
a bummer. Yeah, nope. There's plenty of time to get out. I mean, shoot, the season starts. What is early teal up in the Northeast is like September or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's usually like mid-September around there.
Yeah, and then I mean it goes for a couple of months. Yeah, absolutely. Always got to check the flyways and all that. But I mean, that's just such a crazy time to get out and enjoy. And again, you do it with the kid, and I know that's an easier hunt for him to kind of do right now while he's still kind of young. We don't have to tromp him around the mountains for hours on end.
Right.
Just keep him warm in the blind or keep him warm next to the bank.
Yep, little Mr. Buddy Heater, and it's a bunch of hot hands.
That's it. Hot hands are key.
Yep. Or them heated gloves. I got a couple pairs of them battery-powered heated gloves, and man, those things are nice.
Yeah, that's an upgrade. And that heated seat too now.
Yes. Yeah, that was a good Wally World find.
Well, what is your favorite hunt, man? I mean, what is your most memorable moment so far?
Well,
outside of the 207.
I mean, yeah. That's that one probably takes it. I think another fun one was when me and Tommy went out east.
Oh, yeah.
We had the pelicans landing and that grebe that attacked.
Oh, dude, that grebe was psycho, man. And they got their red eyes. They're straight demon birds.
I mean, just walked right in from the water and just started going at it. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah. Yeah. And I swear, I thought the pelican was going to land on top of me.
It was so close. I mean, that was I thought you were getting eaten.
Good thing I'm a big guy. They'd have a hard time swallowing me.
Right. But that was a fun night, just going out there the night before and getting the evening before, I should say, a couple hours before shooting light ended, and getting a couple, and then just sleeping in the truck, waiting for you, I guess, to get there that night, and then passed out and do a morning hunt. Water froze over. That was interesting, but I mean, that's when you got your canvas back that day, right? That was
yes, I did.
That was the canvas back. I think we had our scope limit. I think we're one away from, I think, a redhead limit for all three of us.
I think each. So. Yep.
Yeah, that was a pretty good day, given all the hurdles that were there.
I was gonna say one of my favorites still is the Scotch double that I pulled on those two long tail hens. I mean, that was just the craziest thing. 2 Alaskan birds at the same time, and then I'm shooting another one later down the road.
Yeah,
and then shot the spoonie. I think a couple of days after that.
Yep.
And I think that's also the enjoyable thing is it's like, you go on a big game hunt and you got one specific target animal you're going for, right? Like mule deer, elk, bear, whatever. But with like with waterfowl, especially, I mean, we don't
You
see
could
the
have six
speckled
different
bellies out
birds.
here. Yeah. 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 There's so many different species, so many different options. And I mean, obviously you still got to pay attention. We're always trying to figure out some of them on the fly, which is definitely hard to do with the ducks. But, once you get a better identification of the species, then you know what you're looking for. And, again, if you're able to pick them out of the crowd, as long as you know your limits, I mean, it's fair game.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely, if you don't identify, don't shoot.
Yeah,
But
that's 100%.
as long as you stay hidden, they will come back around, or at least you won't bust them out. Even if they fly away, they might come back in, another hour after they get kind of tired of sitting where they're sitting.
Yep.
They know that area is good there. They gave it a pass. They seen nothing bugged them. Just be patient.
Right, exactly. And unfortunately, I think that's the hard part. I know for me, it was really hard learning that at the beginning. It was just like waiting for you to call a shot, and then I'm pulling up early and everything like that. And we've been out so many places with people sky busting right over the top of us so you can hear the BBs whistle.
Yeah. Landing right in the water right next to you. Here, sounds like a hailstorm hitting you, all the weeds, all the cattails, and just look down and cover your head.
I was going to say, on that 207 bird day, I definitely felt a few BBs rustle off my back as they were coming back down.
You want to know what I got hit with the most on that day? Shells.
Oh, well, yeah, sorry.
Spent shells just flying everywhere.
Yeah, the ground was covered with shotgun shells. It was ridiculous. I think I went through 3.5 boxes that day.
Yeah, I think I was right there at just about at 4 too. And I think I was down to the scragglers in the bottom of the bag.
Yeah, exactly. That was just a catch-all bag.
Yeah, had a 3.5, a 3, and a number 4, a number 2, a BB shot, all in the same gun.
I was gonna say I tried to stagger it so that way I did have a 3.5 first, and then just hope that I had 3s after the fact. And then I had one in my mouth out the corner, one in my hand, and then was trying to reach into my pocket, which for me, lefty, I have to reach into my right hand pocket to try to get something out of there. So it always makes it interesting.
So we needed like a belt fed shotgun that day.
Shoot, no kid, or like that banana clip.
Yeah, right. I wish it would have been conservation. That would have been nice for that day, because that would have been 2 shotguns there and extension tubes on.
Yeah, that would have been. And I honestly don't think I needed more birds to clean.
That's true too. We filled up. We had a couple game bags that were pretty weighed down.
Oh yeah, tremendously. And I think, we were just breasting out too at that point.
Yeah, they had a lot of little snows. Not much meat on them. The dogs liked it,
truly,
and the cats.
Yep.
They always like to clean up the last of it.
But yeah, truly, you don't need a whole lot to go out, right? You need some good camo. You need obviously shotgun and shells, bow stamps. And if you're doing water, it's definitely somewhat beneficial to have a few decoys. Like I said, the goose stuff is definitely, you need to have a spread that they're going to want to land in. They're not landing in a dozen or 2. What do we have total now?
I think 35 dozen with the snows.
Yeah, and it still doesn't seem like enough, doesn't it?
No, it wasn't. I think that's why we haven't been able to pull any, even like Canadians out of there, because they're coming over and a pack of 100, and they don't want to, they want to land with 2,000. They don't want to land with another 20 birds or 20 dozen birds or.
Yeah.
And some of the days we had no wind, so our socks were useless.
Right.
But, just definitely.
Lex has put in the work getting them full bodies, the new full body setups that he has.
Yeah, those are sweet.
Oh man, that is one downside, is putting out 1,000 decoys or whatever 2,000 decoys and then having to pull them at the end of the night. That definitely drags when you don't have very many people.
Yeah, that is quite a lot to haul. Yeah, that is the one thing that a lot of people say is the downfall on the waterfowl. It's like, yeah, but if you're shooting 207 birds, I mean, it's juice
Kind
is
of a
worth the
fair
squeeze.
trade-off.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, hey, some people go hiking, or hunting 10 miles and don't see a single deer. It's like, is it really that much different?
Right, exactly.
I mean, and even if you don't shoot anything, even if you put out the 1,500 decoys, that's
Yeah,
any day out there is better than a day sitting at home doing nothing.
no kidding. Not to mention when you're grinning ear to ear, everyone's just laughing and having a good old time. I think at the end of that night, I think we counted the pile 3 or 4 times because we just couldn't truly believe how many birds we had.
Yeah, I know I didn't when as soon as you started counting out the 10-pack piles and you got to 19, it's like there's no way. It's like I remember Dan, like it was probably like 2:00 and we're still shooting them and Dan's like, "You think we're triple digits?" Like, yeah, I bet we're at like 90. And they start counting, it's like 207. It's like, oh, I was a little off. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I guess we weren't going out there for 2 minutes to pick up handfuls of birds. And
I was gonna say we had the one whole layout like a coffin, just bird bodies.
then the whole back of both A-frames were it was a walls of just birds.
You couldn't even sit in there almost.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going out with my dad when I was younger out east, outside of Bennett, Colorado, and he used to have a good buddy that had a field that we'd hunt in. And, we'd be happy to get 4 or 5 or whatever. And at that time, I was too young. So I was pretty much there just to watch and go get the birds out of the field. And we actually used to, the gentleman we hunted with, he had a kid that was around my age. And I'm going to forget their names now, but we would jump in his little go-kart thing and go chase them down, if there was ones that were kind of getting away or whatever. But nothing like that experience. And granted, I don't think that happens very often. You always see Dive Bomb kills it, obviously. They've got fields for days, and they've got so many great guys that go out with them. But, it's like for the average Joe getting out, being happy with, a couple of birds or, if you're lucky enough to get a couple of limits of ducks, I mean, that is just glorious.
Yeah. I mean, at the start of the season, I was happy when I shot 2 in the first time. It's like, all right, well, we're getting somewhere. We'll work up to it. And I mean,
and it definitely takes you a minute to get it figured out too, as far as the lead on the as far as when the birds are flying across you or whatever, because they're not always going to come straight on, right on top of you, backpedal into land.
Right. I mean, they can fly at a diagonal, and it's hard to judge it when they're flying fast and out. You gotta, I guess, practice, and that's where I've liked that shot cam, but just to try and figure out, my zone, and I mean, the widgeon will fly different than the bufflehead do, so you gotta adapt on the fly, for whichever's coming in.
Right.
But that's part of the fun.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That is part of that fun.
And I mean, I know Luke's been out quite a bit. Do you remember the age on when youth can start hunting waterfowl? Is it the same for big game?
So they need their what do we call that? The apprentice license. If they're 11 and under.
Okay.
Once they hit 12, then they just they have to do their
Hunter safety course.
I think the hunter safety, and you get your small game.
Yep.
Which it's like $1.29 or something for the kids. I mean, it's not expensive at all. It's a mentors program. That's what it is. So basically, the adult just takes the child in to this, the CPW office and tells them that they want that, and they basically just give them their little license.
Yeah.
And they don't need a stamp until they are 16. As long as they're with, obviously a licensed hunter, which they have to be anyway.
Of course.
They can have their limit, same 6 bird limit for ducks, and then they can go out 1 week earlier before regular season starts with the veterans and do a youth hunt, and they're allowed Canadians also during that, their Canadian limit, but no snows.
Oh,
But-
okay.
So I mean, you can really, if you're taking a youth out and you have a spot where you know there's some cans and some good ducks, the kid can shoot them. They can get them both. I mean, so take advantage of that. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's so fun to just watch the kids just do it, and you get to sit back and you don't have to worry about anything else. You just get to have fun. You know, maybe you take some pictures and just watch the smile just grow on their face.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, the best thing for me is you always got good snacks.
Yep, there you go. Yep, kids gotta have their snacks. They always like the sugary snacks. So
Oh yeah.
yep, donuts and little Debbie's and monsters.
Yep, monsters. Plenty of those being drank in the blind. Oh goodness.
Oh, and your
Man.
coffees.
Oh, I know my coffee. You know me, man. I can't help it. I have to have coffee, bro. In the morning when I wake up, that's the only way I get going.
Yep.
But I gotta tell, or well, actually, I want you to tell the story. I think it was 2 years. Yeah, it was 2 years ago now when you got your car stuck out east. And what was his name that helped you?
That was Daniel and Sam.
Sam. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
So Daniel was out there with them. So I got a lake out east that I had hunted. I scouted it. I seen a bunch of ducks on it. So I don't believe that wasn't my first time out there. I think it was like second or third. And so I had a spot that was on a point that I hunted before, and I wanted to get to that spot. It's in the dark. I'm in a Subaru with an A-frame, kayak, all the decoys that I have, any socks. I mean, I was going for cans and ducks, and driving on the bank, and I see there is a boat that's on the shore, and then a little bit past that, I see some guys. So I drove past them, and looking at the map, went, okay, well here's where it turns over here, and I should be getting. Now this is 4 a.m, so pitch dark, and all of a sudden my car comes to a halting stop. I was right in the wet sandbar, so I tried to back out, couldn't. I was centered out. Thing was weighted down quite a bit, so basically I said, well, I guess I'm sitting here for a little bit. Got the A-frame mount, drug it down to the lake, or drug it away, and set up, just sitting there, hoping that I was going to at least shoot one and make it worth it, because I knew later on I was going to have one heck of a chore of getting this thing out. So morning went through. I seen the guys across the way, because I ended up going around this cove to the other side, so I was pretty much directly across from them on this cove, and I can see them. They're shooting geese, because obviously they're not sitting there next to a Subaru on the bank. And, so lunchtime comes around, and I paddle over there, and I asked them, hey, can I get some help? I'm up S Creek without a paddle right now, and they invited me to sit there in their layouts and at least hunt until it was over, and then they said they'd help me. So we did that. Had a good little time there, and after that they came out with their truck. Sam brought his out there, and he had his boat trailer. Ended up getting that stuck. So now we're really screwed, because now instead of me being stuck, I got him also. So he calls friends from about 4.5 hours away, and they eventually drive out there. I think it was probably 9 to 10, somewhere in there at night when they get there. Well, we eventually, with 5 guys there, we pushed my car out of where it needed to be, and then we focused on Sam's, and that was a chore getting his big truck out of that wet sandbar. But I think I remember if I texted you at like 1:30 in the morning and said I'm out. I mean, my waders were soaked. I had water in boots. I had no extra clothes. I was just like miserable as all can be. And I remember pulling over to a gas station. I was like, I need to get some sleep. Sat there. Went, yeah, I'm not sleeping. It's like I'm soaked. It's like I'm not sleeping in this. Drove home. Just, but they ended up becoming pretty good friends, and that was quite the experience.
I was going to
As
say,
far as
Daniel's pretty much the way we met Lex and Justin.
yes, yep. Because Daniel, he told me about some other guys that were out east, so I went with them. That was when me and Luke we went out there and we had a 40 bird day. That
That's
was
right.
that was when I got that blue, and I think he got his Ross that's on the wall.
Oh,
His,
yeah. Awesome.
his first one.
Oh, the one with the pip line?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
The one that I had to go over the train tracks?
We did go over the train tracks for one of them. Yeah, you had to chase one down.
Sometimes that happens, but good thing we like having you there because it's easy for you to just run out and get them for us.
Yeah. I was gonna say because I wasn't about to climb up that. It was like a 7-foot like dirt wall, and it's like, yep, throw him up there.
Yep.
Cookie, maybe next time you get a Jeep.
Oh, this guy with the Jeep. Good. We can't pack enough decoys in a Jeep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and plus it'd flip over.
There we go. There we go, Jeep guy. Hey, Charles is the one that got you on the Jeeps, okay? So don't act like you were always a Jeep guy.
I know he did get me into the Jeep, but I got the Gladiator, so I'm kind of happy.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
I
truck,
know
right?
you are. Yeah,
That's
that's
the
the truck version.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are not. No, they're sweet. I will not lie. Jeeps can do almost anything you ask them to, but they're kind of small for a big guy like me.
Yeah, I remember when we were out turkey hunting with you guys.
Yeah, my knees were pretty much in my face and against the dashboard.
Yes.
So.
Wait, when was that? When was I?
Yeah,
that
we
the
went out
year
turkey
Charles came out?
season. Yep.
Okay, I was gonna say that's when I had the Forester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the. Yep. Good old Subarus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to divert topic there. I just had to insert that little thing in
No,
there
you're
that
good.
got stuck.
I was going to say, plug the Jeep commercial.
Exactly.
Well, honestly, I think, we've had so many great trips. I mean, just endless amounts of days. Again, speaking to how much hunting you can do big game wise versus waterfowl. I mean, it just seems like it never ends until it does. And
Yeah.
we have put time and effort into that tremendously. But one thing that I have had to learn very quickly was the balance in the kayaks. And we were out at that same pond you got stuck in, and we had to cross that little channel to get over to that I don't even know,
To
it's
the
like
other
a little
side.
peninsula thing. Yeah.
Yep.
And of course I was like, no big deal, I can do it, I can get in the kayak, yeah, no problem. And actually, Lane, you and Charles were meeting us that morning. I think it was that
night.
morning you were meeting us. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that morning.
Yep.
Oh, was it
And
morning? Okay.
well, you and I were trying to set decoys that night, and of
That's right.
course, I get in the kayak, get not even 5 feet, not even like 2 feet from the shore, and immediately start wobbling. And I just see your eyes get all big, and I just knew I was going in. So sure enough, tipped over the kayak, tried to jump out as fast as I could, started throwing my phone out, the GoPro out of my pockets, and I'm just sitting on the shore just looking at you like, this is not going to happen. But I knew since Lane and Charles were coming out, we were going to hunt. So I sat in your truck for
with the heated
whatever,
seats.
6, 7 hours or whatever it was, a few hours, tried to dry off as much as possible, and then went and laid in the layout blind, still wet, feet soaking wet, again, like you getting the car out, and sat in the blind just shivering for, pretty much all day until the sun really started baking on us. But it's just, that was my biggest learning curve, is like, man, you're kind of a big guy and you're top heavy, so sit down in that kayak a little bit more.
It's hard to not get in one and not want to like stand, like, when you start wobbling, like you want to stand just because, on flat ground, that's would be your reaction. But
Yep.
yeah, it's hard to do that in the, I think for you, I think we need the shallow water because that was just a drop. We need the ease in there, and I'm that same way. I mean, I don't like flopping in because it scares the heck out of me.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't like being wet, and I don't. That just ruin the day almost.
Yeah, no,
that's
I
the
mean,
day Charles shot he got his widgeon, and Lane, you got a merganser, right?
Correct.
yeah, the hooded, I think.
Yeah, the hooded merganser.
It was a.
Yeah, that-
I think it was a hen. It was just common. It
Oh,
was a
okay.
bigger one.
Yeah. I
'Cause
don't.
yeah,
I don't
the-
remember. That was
it-
my first ever duck. So
I remember that because was that the one who whistled? And no, that was the one. I just said go for it. I just ducked and because I remember
Yeah.
seeing it coming. I think it was coming off of our right and seeing it
yeah,
and just
Yep.
and it was like yep. I just shoot him and just duck and cover my ears. Boom,
Right,
boom. Watch it
exactly.
fall.
still my favorite memory of that trip was when Charles thought it was like how you wring a pheasant's neck, and
Decapitated it.
yeah, and he decapitated it.
Yeah, yeah. That was interesting. It's like, well, so there goes the picture.
Yeah. Charles puts a lot of effort. He got them big muscles, so I don't think he knows his own strength sometimes.
Yeah, and say it's not. You don't have to string. It's not a deer. I mean, it's not. It's not going to get away.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I mean, truly, it's such a great opportunity to get, again, kids out especially. It's easy, you're not walking far, you're not doing a lot. You can talk in the blind. I mean, we're laughing and BSing the whole time usually. It's a great ability to kind of get kids into hunting in general. There's, again, huge opportunities for different species. You're usually having multiple birds pass by you. Like you said, the whole point of the whole point of the title is one more pass, because sometimes you're just like hoping that they're going to spin, come right in, and give you that second opportunity. And that's just great for kids. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all.
Right. How about
But
I guess talk about another time when was it your boss's son?
oh yeah, James came out with us.
I was gonna say, seeing him smile. I mean, he got that redhead, teal, and
Yeah.
what else he had? I mean, we had a whole bunch. We had good day that day.
Yeah, that was a mixed bag. And yeah, he was just, I mean, he still talks about that, and definitely want to get him out again if he has some time to do so, because yeah, it was just, we had them teal land in the decoys.
Oh
Well,
yes.
so I think you shot the bufflehead first. That was kind of on the right-hand side.
Yep.
And
yeah,
I had it just in my mind.
Yeah. I was sitting to the right of you, like I don't know, 15 yards or so, because you guys were more towards the point. And
Yep.
yeah, I remember seeing those three teals just huck around that point, and just I hear boom, 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 and watch all three just drop. It's like, well, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and he was just tremendously excited.
Another
I
stud
think
teal.
he ended up getting those
Two drakes.
mounted. Oh, I know, right? Two beautiful birds.
Yeah, I mean, full plume. They were.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
really
think
pretty.
we had a redhead that day. We had a couple buffleheads. We had golden eye. We had the teal.
I don't remember if we got
And maybe
a
that.
gadwall
I can't remember if we got gadwalls or not. We might have shot a hen widgeon.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But
I think
yeah,
that was
I mean, it's just,
so. I think that might have been no. I think I had a hen redhead come in because I shot two birds. I think before those three came in because you guys were like, "Hey,
Oh,
you guys
okay.
see." I remember the whole point of me going away from you guys was that way you guys could shoot, and then they ended up coming in on me first, and it's
Yep.
boom, boom. It's like, sorry. Well, like there's
Nope.
two. Then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
I
the
was
three
gonna
came
say.
around. It's like, all right, this is first, 5 minutes of shooting light. This is gonna be a good day. We got 5 birds in here already.
Yep. No, that's it, man. Pull up on him. That's all you can do.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's such a great opportunity, and it's so much fun. Like I said, it doesn't take a whole lot to get going into it. There's still a lot to learn. I know you've essentially been doing it for about 3 years now out here in Colorado.
Right.
I think I caught the tail end of your first year, but
And
then really have done it
I think-
pretty much every day possible the last two.
And that season started for me, I think, in January. So I mean, just before it was over. Like
Right.
that first one, because we went out for that whitetail hunt, and then seeing the birds back there, and that's when I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take a little walk back here and we'll see what we got.
Yep.
And then yeah, it just exploded from there.
And then we've met amazing people from it. just so many great trips. And then Charles and I this year, we were able to take some of his coworkers out and his distributors out, and they just had a blast. I mean, it's an easy way for, it's essentially a good dip into the hunting industry, because it's not overwhelming of, when people talk about bow hunting, it's like, oh, you need this, you got to get this, you got to look for this, and you got to, be ready to do 10 miles of hiking, and, you need to be able to call, and you got to watch your wind. It's like comparison, you just sit down and wait.
Right.
But I know we've got a lot more waterfowl adventures coming up next year. Again, we'll be getting out with Justin and Lex with Wounded Waterfowl Project. And I implore anyone that's in Colorado, no matter where you are, to get in touch with him. He's on Instagram, he's on Facebook, and what they're doing as far as trying to get veterans, especially out into the waterfowl industry, just getting them out to enjoy is just so huge. And I appreciate them a ton. Lex is an absolutely awesome dude.
So before we start wrapping up, I have a question for you guys that you guys will be able to answer. You've alluded to it a couple times, and I've been kind of curious. You said flyway zones or flyaway zones. What are those? What do you mean by that? Sorry, I'm trying to learn here.
Oh, of course. Basically, across the board, the whole United States has different flyways, and it's essentially like what our state version of units would be, right? So, obviously Colorado has hundreds of different units spread out,
flyways.
And there's 4 flyways in Colorado. And then obviously
across the United States. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
There's 2 in Colorado. I believe the center divides changes that, because they have the Pacific Flyway, the Central Flyway, there's Atlantic. What's the other one? I know. Man, I guess I don't really get on towards the east side. I don't get on the east side as much as I should.
Yeah. But yeah, basically it's, they have those broken up as far as when you can hunt, like we were mentioning, kind of the northeast part of the state. You can get into the early season teal.
Mississippi's the other one. So it's Atlantic, Mississippi, Central, and then Pacific Flyway.
Okay.
You just have to see where they divide that at. I know Colorado splits, and we've got 2 flyways. I think it's going down the range, the west side of the center divide, I guess, would be the Pacific. Then we're in the Central, where we are.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, and that, like I said, that breaks up different season dates, different, goose usually starts later, and it'll just kind of give you a defining line of, okay, you're in this area, this is what you can hunt at this time period. Just like I said, just like units, essentially.
Okay.
And then Colorado's got its like you said, its own zones, of the Northeast, the Southeast, and then the Western. How they break those up, because they start as different dates. Northeast, I know, starts a little sooner than we do, but which obviously they should. They're closer to where the birds are coming down from. Then
we'll have to try to explore a little bit more. And I know I've gone over to Junction and seen cans piled in on the river outside of Junction and Gunnison and things like that. So, there'll be some more trips that we have to take, because I know Cookie's willing to travel.
Oh, yeah.
And then we keep talking about it, but one of these days we are going to go to Arkansas and get into some crazy snows and hopefully some speckles.
That would be fun. I'd love to do a conservation hunt out there.
Oh,
have a 600 bird day.
Yeah,
bring 2 cases of shells and an extra barrel.
Yeah. That barrel will be warped by the time we're done.
It's gonna look like a cartoon one.
Even outside of that, then you talk about upland birds. So you got pheasant and dove and quail, and you can even get into, we haven't done it yet, but you can even get into the sandhill cranes. There's just so many different bird species that you have the ability to hunt, outside of even just the waterfowl genre. It's just, again, it's a wider variety for people to get into. There's a lot more potential for you to see animals, essentially. So, I
And
definitely implore people to look into it.
you can use that one shotgun for all of those. You just change your choke tube and change the kind of shell you're using. That's
Yeah, exactly.
you don't have to have 5 different shotguns for each species, even though some of us might. But just
Yeah. Well, you're kind of on your way that direction with all the shotguns you got.
that's like I grew up with an 870, and I love that gun. I still have it, but I switched over to an A5, and oh man, I'm in love. I don't know if I'll go back. But that
I was gonna say,
870, I would take that anywhere. I'd never question if that thing's gonna shoot. It'll shoot
right.
every time, and no matter what shell you put in it.
Well, and I put that 887 that you gave me for turkey season back in 2020. I put that thing through the ringer for waterfowl. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, that cylinder just being in the water, I think water and sand, man, that thing just gummed up. And thankfully, I upgraded before this last waterfowl season to the Stoger semi-auto, and even that, I won't be switching from that. That thing is solid.
right. Yeah, there's a good reason why they made those 887s for only like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
They did not. They were supposed to be the new waterproof 870, and they tanked it. They tanked
yeah,
it.
that
It did not
that was
hold up.
unfortunate. I mean, hey, I
Yeah,
shot my turkey with it though.
I was gonna say, did they do that? I mean, you got some birds with it too, but yeah, that is unfortunate. I think we got some crows with it too.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh my goodness, I forgot about the
Going crows.
crows we hunted.
Yeah, that's it. There's redneck duck hunting for you guys right there. I mean, you want to get something easy. I mean, grab the cheap shells and some black socks, put them over some sticks, and get a rabbit call and watch them come in and have fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much where we got started into the birds, at least for out here.
Yeah.
Um, we went out for crows a couple of times, and then
Yep.
yeah, and you were like, "Man, Nick, you got to try waterfowl. We can do this, this, and this." And then sure enough, now I'm hooked.
Yeah.
It's
It
an
is.
addiction.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I mean, if anyone has any questions on waterfowl hunting, how to get into it, where to kind of start, like I said, there's so many great resources. Cookie has taken that to a whole new level for us as far as a hunting group. I know Ian does the cast and blast guided trips. He's also big time floats the river and shoots ducks. He gets into a lot of the greenheads, which I still have yet to shoot a greenhead. They keep eluding me, and I'm
Yeah.
about fed up. But no, there's so much opportunity. Like I said over and over again, I will recommend. I mean, there's great guides all over the place. I mean, Raining Skies, Lex with Wounded Waterfowl Project. What's Zane's? Is Zane part of Raining Skies?
No, out west.
Out west. Zane is awesome. Tristan is awesome. Those dudes put us on some birds last year too. That was just an insane Canadian goose hunt. I think we shot, what was it, a 5 or a 6 man limit that day we went out with them. I mean, just absolute amazing opportunity. And again, it doesn't take a whole lot to get into it. So if you're ever interested in waterfowl hunting in any way, shape, or form, please feel free to reach out to us, just like with everything else. And then obviously talk to your local fish and game. They're always a huge tool to let you know kind of where to go, what's public land, so on and so forth. Because even out where we hunt, there's a pond that we go to that the north side essentially is private locked, even the water. So you may be able to, kayak over or set up like that, but as soon as your feet touch the ground underneath the water, you're trespassing. So you've got to know where you are at all times. There's so many different tools nowadays to figure that out before you even get going. But we will answer as many questions as possible if anyone's looking to get into the waterfowl industry. But yeah, Cookie Monster and Luke, I appreciate you guys' time. Lane, we got to get you out on some more birds whenever you get the chance next year. I know Charles wants to get out and do some more as well. I mean, a big HA goose hunt would definitely be in the books, I think, next year.
Yeah, I need to get into the waterfowl game with you guys. It's watching Cookie and all you guys just take out all the geese and be out there hunting throughout the wintertime. I I need to get out there with you guys.
Absolutely.
It's worth
We
it.
will put it in the books.
Yes, we will. Don't forget to go check us out at Harness Adrenaline on Instagram and on our website at www.harnessadrenaline.com.
Get after it.